everyone! Not long ago I found myself standing in front of a room full of educational leaders at a conference. The sort of room where everyone looked reasonably well presented, highly competent, and just a tiny bit tired. Okay, true, it was late on a Friday morning and they'd all had a big night out before. Sitting there in front of me was someone in the front row struggling to control his yawn. You know the look, what I like to call the I've answered 73 emails before breakfast, the mediated a disagreement over a stolen glue stick type look. As the session came to an end, I left them with a simple question. What parts of my leadership give me energy and why am I spending so little time there? I asked this question because given that we're almost at the end of another busy term and our energy levels are hitting dangerously low levels, I wonder if it's important to talk about what I call the great energy allocation problem. Think about your week. What parts of leadership genuinely light you up? For me, it was always creating stuff. You know, I love that magical moment when something that didn't exist at breakfast exists by lunchtime. But for you, it might be something quite different. Maybe it's walking into classrooms and feeling that crazy energy that only a beautifully humming classroom can produce. I love that too. Or seeing a teacher try something new, or just talking with the kids. Yep, they all gave me energy too. But then I'd look at my diary and somehow I'd spent most of my week buried in administration, responding to emails, writing reports, attending meetings after meetings, and discussing things that would eventually be discussed again in another meeting. It's a funny system, isn't it? The activities that often give us the greatest sense of purpose are frequently the very things we schedule the least. You won't be surprised to find that research backs this up as well. The work of psychologist Mihai Csikszentmihalyi found that people experience high levels of engagement, satisfaction and well-being, you got it, when operating in activities that use their strengths and create a sense of flow. Similarly, the strengths-based researcher Martin Seligman consistently shows that people flourish when they regularly choose their signature strengths. In simple terms, people feel much better when they spend more time doing the things they're naturally good at and deeply enjoy. Who knew? Apparently science has finally caught up with common sense. So one of the mistakes many leaders make is believing that the draining parts of leadership are also the most important parts. They're often not. Necessary? Yeah, sure, important sometimes, but not always. I remember being principal and spending 3 hours carefully wordsmithing a board report, then spending 10 minutes chatting to a nervous beginning teacher. Guess which interaction had the greater long-term impact? It certainly wasn't the report, and I'm still not sure that some of the board members even read the thing. Nobody's ever approached me 20 years later and said, "Hey Steve, yeah, wow, I still remember the formatting of your March 2017 board report. Ooh, that was awesome." Yet, you know, countless people remember how they felt during a conversation. That's where leadership lives, not in the paperwork, but in the people work. Okay, so I want you to try this for a second. Go grab a piece of paper. I want you to draw up 2 columns. Label one that says, gives me energy, and label the other, takes my energy. And now for the next week, jot things down. No judgment, just observation. And then ask yourself this: what can I do more of? What can I delegate? What can I simplify? What can I stop doing altogether? Because, you know, here's the thing. Sustainable leadership isn't about finding more energy. It's about spending more time where your energy is created in the first place. Now, as I wrote in Be Slacker Better, leadership is part of your life, not your whole life. The goal isn't to become a superhuman. The goal is to spend more time doing work that feels meaningful and less time drowning in professional trivia. So I'll leave you with the same question that I left those conference leaders. What parts of your leadership give you energy? And perhaps more importantly, what would happen if you deliberately made room for more of them next week? Now, if you've enjoyed this video, then you'll undoubtedly enjoy reading my latest book, 54 Quotes and Provocations. It's stacked full of great leadership quotes and ideas to help free up your thinking time so that you can enjoy your job a lot more. Go and get your copy now.